Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome into another week of the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Beach TV, and now this season also on TV on ABC Channel 47 WMDT, in which we're extremely happy to be a part of broadening our reach on the Delmarva Peninsula to let people know about this great show and the Ravens Room, and that's where we're broadcasting from. Hey, we're also back for another year, by the way, on the radio, on Delmarva's Rock Radio, and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the peninsula, 93.5 The Beach. Our show airs at 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings, and then most games for the season kick off at 1 o'clock, so it's a nice lead into the network pregame show. We are coming to you from the infamous Ravens Room at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City, with Ravens News 44 and Ravens fans all across the peninsula. Always a great turnout. Well, welcome in to week number 6 of the NFL. Coming up, we're going to recap, unfortunately, the Ravens' 20-13 loss to Indianapolis. We'll talk news and notes. We're going to recap the AFC North and preview the upcoming game this Sunday on the road at Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers. Kickoff in that one at 1 o'clock. And I love the 1 o'clock games. If every game was 1 o'clock, I'd be a happy camper. The Ravens Rep Show is brought to you by the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, of course, here. Bud Light, our friends at Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Geico, RussellStreetReport.com, the official website of Ravens Rap. We also have Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, which provides us ticket giveaways, and we already had a ticket giveaway to Carolina, and next week we're going to have a ticket giveaway for the home game against the Atlanta Falcons. That's going to be a great one. So it behooves you to come on down to the show, get tickets, and give yourself a chance, okay, at winning tickets to Ravens games. We have 4 more opportunities this season, thanks to jctickets.net. Also want to thank the Holiday Express at Northside at Ocean City, Donaway Furniture, and BuyAToyota.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, Ravens Wrap at the Blue Ox, or our website, ravenswrap.com. I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, also locally, mornings, Mike and Jake in the morning on 92.7 WGMD. To my left, special guest this week, Bert Talbert. Now, he's a former football player at Salisbury State University, former defensive back. He's now a military history professor at Salisbury. Bert, welcome to the program for the first time. And currently playing some flag football at the Ocean City League, which is great. And I wish I had the time to play flag football again like I did a couple of years ago. But welcome to the show. And to his left, no stranger to the program, former coach, Ravens Roost member, and all big Ravens fans, Steve Slaza. Welcome back, sir. And before we get into the program, I just wanted to update you. Great news about our original Green Turtle family friend, Benny, who had heart surgery at PRMC in Salisbury. We look forward to seeing Benny here down the road soon at the Green Turtle, but he is doing very well. He's breathing on his own. He can have visitors soon. So Sherry's very happy. She saw us talk about it last week, and I'm glad Benny's doing well. So again, prayers and well wishes to you, Benny, and we hope to see you back at the Turtle real soon. All right, coming into the game, some notes for the Ravens of notable inactives. Defensive end Chris Candy with an illness. Linebacker Arthur Brown was out. He's healthy, though. Defensive lineman Timmy Jernigan, we know about his meniscus situation. And offensive tackle Eugene Monroe, who's recovering from knee surgery. He'll be out probably another 3 or 4 weeks. For Indianapolis, their starting center and left guard were out for this game. So, Steve, I'm going to start with you. You take a look at the situation, at least our defense against their offense, and you had to feel pretty good against a matchup against 2 guys on the O-line that weren't starting for them.
No, I definitely, and I thought that defensively we played very well. You know, I'm probably one of the few on the panel and one of the few Ravens fans who thought that it was a major step forward for us defensively, and you know, having Ladarius Webb step up the way he did. You know, I thought the defense played well. Unfortunately, the other half of the team did not. And as we know, it takes 2 halves to play well.
It certainly does. And Bert, from an offensive standpoint, just 7 yards of offense in the first quarter. And for the Ravens, they ran the ball season low 15 times in the game. Now, you know from playing defensive back in Salisbury, when a team can run the football and do it successfully, that forces DBs to have to come up and cheat against the run, and then you're susceptible to the play-action pass.
Right, and Luck throws 49 times, and they beat us. And that's something I didn't expect. So the DBs come up, and Luck, you know, they probably should have put more points on the board. We were kind of lucky to be in it late.
Yeah, certainly were, and for 49 times, though, to throw a little over 300 yards, the good news about the defense, and Steve, we talk about it, and from a DB standpoint, too, but we've struggled in the secondary. There's been no question about that outside of Jimmy Smith, but at least, if anything, they made progress, even though the loss, they kept the gains to minimal gains. They weren't beating us over the top with 40 and 50-yard chunk passes.
I thought, we still are not a great tackling team, and we didn't do a great job of funneling them into the middle, but we kept the ball in front of us. We didn't give up a whole lot of long plays. And, Mosley, the interception he had and, the delayed blitz he had where, he waited until everybody was picked up and then he stepped up and hit Andrew Luck.
C.J. Mosley, you're talking about.
And forced him into an interception. And, I thought he just really played well. And defensively, that's a game you've got to be proud of. Unfortunately, offensively, it looked like there was a major disconnect between Kubiak and Flacco, and those two. And as you said, we ran the ball 15 times, and since 2007, when we've run the ball 15 times or less, we're 0-15. So once you become that one-dimensional, it's very easy to defend.
That's an interesting stat that you bring up about the 15 times. And I was taking a look through some information, though, and there have been a lot of times on the show over the last couple of years we've talked about how is it that the Ravens didn't run the ball more, give it to our former running back, Ray Rice. We talked about that with Cam Cameron. Yet I looked back, but during the John Harbaugh era, the Ravens have rushed for the NFL's 10th most yards per game since 2008. So, but we still come across these games where, you take a look and say, why didn't we run the ball more? But you look at time of possession, Bert, it was huge. It was huge in favor of Indy, so they didn't have a chance to run the ball as much
was
either.
It 17 minutes?
I believe something like that, yeah.
17 minutes more. The thing about the Ravens that I like so much is I like that style of football. We run the ball, and then we play good D. They bend but don't break, and then they stop you in the red zone. So, and that's exactly what they did. They got the big turnovers, although they turned the ball over 4 times. We got 4 turnovers, and we turned it over 3 times. But I like the bend but don't break, but that's where the disparity in time of possession came, because they were able to work the ball down, and we limited them to 20 points, but it killed us on the offensive end. It doesn't give us a chance to run the ball and establish the run, and you're playing catch up. You're in a hurry to catch up.
Yeah, and Steve, while the defense, I thought, certainly made improvements, and they're making some strides there, especially in the secondary. They're getting there. It's slow but sure, but the issue is you got to get off the field. And I thought that there was the one drive where the Colts ended up kicking a field goal to make it 6-3. But if you remember, the Ravens challenged the spot of the ball on a pass to Reggie Wayne. Now, as it turns out, the Ravens lost that challenge. However, one of the refs, I guess, on CBS, who retired last year, I'm trying to remember his name off the top of my head, but he said that it should have been, the Ravens had it right when they challenged it. So I went back and took a look. After that, the Colts had between 15 and 17 plays after that where they ended up kicking a field goal. Now, 3 points wasn't the difference of the game, but you take a look at the time of possession on that drive after that call, which should have gone the Ravens' way, but the defense ultimately got to get off the field.
Right. But you look at it, you look in the first half, they have 2 field goals. The one was by the muff punt, and the other one was the turnover that we had on the first play of the game that really wasn't a turnover. If you're going to challenge a call at the first pass to Steve Smith, he didn't have possession of that. And Harbaugh's on the side saying he didn't catch it. He didn't catch it. Well, if you watch it on the NFL,
well, why didn't you challenge it?
Exactly. Well, that's the big question. I don't think the Ravens in general and their assistant coaches do a great job with their challenges. The ones they do challenge are ones that you sort of roll your eyes at, and the ones they don't challenge, are ones that should be. But, basically out of that first half, your 2 turnovers led to 6 points. When you get down the final, drive, if you had those 6 points back, then you're going for a field goal, not for a touchdown. So, it would have been a much different scenario.
Bert, I thought, though, going into halftime with the way the offense played, especially to come out of that only down by a field goal 6-3, you had to feel really good that there's a lot of room for improvement, and you're clearly right in the game.
Yeah, but the main problem with the offense in the second half or throughout the game was couldn't convert third downs. We couldn't keep them from converting, which kept them on the field.
Yeah, they were 7 of 15. Yeah.
Right, and what were we, 1 of 11?
1 of 11.
1 of 11.
9%, yeah.
And you can't win in that way. The way the NFL is designed now, all offense and everything, it really comes down to third down percentage. If you can convert those third downs, then you're going to stay on the field, you're going to have the positive, and if you can't get them off, you're going to be struggling. You're always playing catch-up, which is, I felt the Ravens were lucky to be in it at the end just climbing up that hill, never could get quite to the top.
Yeah. And Steve, we talked about just a few minutes ago the secondary not giving up the big play. Okay, that's a start, but still, it was kind of dying a slow death in that they were still getting us for chunks. And on third down, 7 of 15, which is a good conversion rate for any NFL team. But then on top of that, there were times where they didn't need third down because they were getting enough on first and second down that they got the first down again.
Yeah, they would definitely hold on to the ball, which, I thought made it even more critical when we did finally have our one drive in the first half, and you get down there and you're thinking, we turned the ball over twice, we've done all this. Well, at least here we'll kick a field goal and we'll feel good about it. And they didn't. They went for it twice, and you go for it on 3rd and 1, you don't get it running up the middle. Then they do it again, and I really thought you had to come away with points there. And to go in tied 6-6 at halftime would have been big. I mean, obviously down by field goal was not a big desperation, but I thought that we could have been tied, and I thought that would have really been a shot in the arm if we had gone for it down on the goal line.
Yeah. Now, I took, when I first watched them saying we're not getting pressure, when you go back and take a look, if you DVR the game, sometimes you do have a different impression, and sometimes things aren't as great as you think they are, and they're not as bad as you think they are either. And I did see us push the pocket at times, and we did hit Andrew Luck 15 times, but when the Colts are throwing the ball 49 times in the game, there's still 30-some opportunities there for them to make plays. And so I guess you going in, Bert, going into a game against a good quarterback from a defensive perspective, we got about 60 seconds here, that the other team, a guy like Andrew Luck, you're going to concede a certain amount of plays they're going to make.
He's the toughest in the league, the best of the young quarterbacks. He's a combination of Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson. He's big, so you're scared to hit him because he'll take you out, and he can move in that pocket. He can slough you off in the pocket, and then when he goes downfield, it's like a linebacker running with the ball. So he is very tough. You cannot let him get outside the pocket.
Yeah, they're absolutely right. And they had, Cam Newton the week before, they had a guy that was somewhat similar that they were facing. Andrew Luck's a better quarterback, but still similar in physical stature and the ability to throw the football down the field. So they kind of had a game plan, going in against a Luck that was probably somewhat similar to Cam Newton. A lot more to come here as we recap the Ravens' 20-13 loss against Indianapolis Colts here on Comcast Beach TV and ABC Channel 47 and 93.5 The Beach. We're back next. Keep it here.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Like 33rd Street was to Colt fans, Russell Street will become legendary for future generations of Raven fans. Not only is Russell Street the team's address on Sunday, it's now home to the website voted Baltimore's best 5 years in a row. You've known them as Ravens247.com for years, and now you'll love them as RussellStreetReport.com for many more. There's nothing else like it for Baltimore football fans. Trust me, RussellStreetReport.com. Baltimore's home for football 24/7.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.